All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Tellor Community Call, February 2nd, 2021. Uh, yeah, great, great week. Um, so as far as not really any major announcements, last week was the whole V2.6, the vote passed and it was super exciting. And now now it's just kind of on to back to the good old grind of development and hackathons and getting users. So as far as news goes, first thing, we'll kind of just continue with the V2.6 chat. It was a major success. So we'll show you guys. Let me share my screen here. Okay, can you guys see it?
Yep.
Yes, okay. This was so V2.6, the reason that we did V2.6 was gas prices on Ethereum were so high that basically it didn't make sense from a gas perspective to submit until after the 5-minute window, the target time. So what that meant is the difficulty would just continuously decrease. Even though the hash power was there, it was just like one of those issues that you didn't want to submit because the gas prices were so high on Ethereum. So we wanted to fix that to basically make it so the difficulty would readjust based upon the first 4 slots. This way, it would keep the difficulty to a point that the hash power present in the network was actually being utilized, and it wasn't just sort of a race to listen to the mempool and submit your solution, which is what it had turned into. Anyway, so you can see it hit like 0 or 1, basically on Christmas or right around Christmas time, and it stayed there. And we acted quickly. We saw that this was an issue, and we came up with a solution. Shout out to Shepherd Blue on Discord. He came up with he runs Tellor Pool, and he helped us kind of architect the solution. It was a simple fix. Then we kicked off the vote, I think February 14th, and then this is where it got accepted, and you can see instantly it just it's like 10xing every day. Right now it's still kind of doing this, so this is a log scale. So it's like in this exponential sort of zone, but probably within the next day or two, we're going to hit the point where it'll start flattening off. We'll get back to the difficulty pre. So it's super exciting. You can tell it worked. Some of the pools and other miners are starting to come back on board, and we're super happy that it worked. And everyone, shout out to Tally. Big shout out to Tally, who put together this beautiful chart. Its own a day. Yeah, and it was
He did more. I know it looks like it, but he did more than just squiggle with his mouth and draw. It looks hand drawn, but that's actually real data.
right, yeah. The little hand, this is like most price charts. It's like just flat at 0, and then you see it line up with an arrow. It's hand drawn. Cool. Okay, so I can stop sharing that. If you guys want the picture, anything, message Tally. I'll send it, or just send out. Other dev announcements. So we're going to be doing a release on the miner. JG, I think that'll be today, right? You're muted, or we can't hear anything. But
I thought we said tomorrow.
okay, tomorrow. We'll be pushing it to master today, and then we'll do the release tomorrow. So the big things. So TIP, some number, next number.
8.
TIP 8 for ID 58. The DeFi market cap. This is one somebody's been requesting to have the market cap of DeFi. If you saw ID 57, I believe is the DeFi total value locked, which is not DeFi market cap. So one project, X DeFi, they wanted the total value locked. And then actually another project wants the DeFi market cap. So fun story about this project that's requesting the DeFi market cap is we actually don't know who they are or what they're going to be using it for. But that shouldn't matter. So as you can tell, they're still contacting us. We're helping them integrate it. But we don't know what it's for, so we're excited to kind of see that revealing once it goes live. We'll be pushing it live, so we'll be releasing it and then testing it on mainnet for a day. And it's really simple. It's an API. The little caveat with this one, though, the miners, you'll be required to go get a free API key. So just pay attention. Another one, we're going to be pushing up a TIP later today. This one is for Apollo. Some people have sort of mentioned Apollo already. They're doing a really custom one. It's like a pricing index. And it's a whole lot of work, and it's going to be a manual entry, which I know a lot of you love. It's a lot of work, but they just need it updated quarterly. So, talk about, can we be in, talk about being, they need a really slow, secure Oracle, so slow it can be done every 3 months. So we're sort of okay with it being a little bit more manual of a process, since you only have to do it once every 3 months, and they seem like a really good, they seem like a good group of guys. So we'll be working with them, and we're starting to push it towards the integrations channel as much as possible to get other people talking about it. And there's some cool things there, about having this sort of decentralized pricing index on chain. So what they want is, the ability to look at different GDPs, different currency prices, different commodity prices, and come up with an index. That way you're not sort of reliant on just saying the US dollar. And it's a really cool idea. So, I think there's Tellor's long road ahead. We had always sort of talked about doing a decentralized CPI or a decentralized inflation rate for different cryptocurrencies and different pieces. So, this could be kind of the start of that experiment, because, I know Brent has a lot of history doing those kind of things. So we can sort of leverage our skills there, especially if we see the demand starting to take off. Yeah, so that's kind of it on the dev side. Mike, do you want to go over the hackathon stuff?
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody to and perhaps dangle a carrot on a stick about joining ETHDenver. If you haven't, make sure you apply. There is an application process. It's not going to be as simple as clicking on a link this Friday when it begins. So ETHDenver begins this Friday, and it goes for a week. And there'll be all week long. There's going to be a summit with speakers. There'll be a hackathon component, of course, as well. So if you're a hacker, make sure you apply and do that now. But even if you're not a hacker, which many of you aren't, there's gonna be a ton of great content throughout the week. A lot of fun speakers, including our very own Brenda and Nick. So Brenda will be speaking on Monday, the 8th, and Nick will be giving a talk about community currencies on the 10th. So definitely show your support for us there. I've mentioned before, it's going to be it's a virtual conference in a video game, and so you will be able to help represent TRB and Tellor by showing up, virtually in person in this space, and come over and hang out near our booth, which is right next to Chainlink. So if we do get a little bit of a crowd going, it definitely would be, it would warm our hearts too, but be a good show of force, if you will, for the who's who of the DeFi space. We also are going to do a couple giveaways for people that do sort of take us up on supporting Tellor and coming to the hackathon. We're going to announce some details about those giveaways. There'll be one that'll be for some Tellor swag, and another one for about 10 TRB. So stay tuned for more information about those. But if you want to participate, you have to apply, and you have to be in virtual person at ETHDenver. So yeah, that I've said my piece there, and stay tuned for more information.
Yeah, and shout out to Mike and Ryan, who could pick any booth in the whole place, and they choose the one right next to Chainlink. It's a major flex. So
Yeah.
We'll see how. Yeah, we'll be picking virtual fights in the virtual
It was
conference
a
room.
perfect spot, you know, it just
Um,
had to be there. It just happened that Chainlink would be right next to us.
yes, and not
Look,
such a coincidence.
such a we both oracles, you know, like you don't want if someone's really interested in oracles, you don't want to have them walk all the way around.
Are you going to be like just monitoring it so then people like leave Chainlink's booth and you're like, hey,
Here.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ryan's dangling cash. Anyway, yeah, so it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to talking. And then
Yeah. Pay attention. One of the giveaways is going to be very well, I think they're both going to be time constrained. Like one's going to be like a first come, first serve kind of gets it, and the other one's going to be something that occurs at a very specific time. So you want to pay attention to it. I should also mention that this video game aspect, it's called the Virtual Castle, only happens 2 hours a day throughout the week. I think it alternates like 11 to 1 um, Eastern time on one day, and then it'll go like 5 to 7 Eastern time on the next day, and sort of flip back and forth between mornings and evenings. So I think they do that so that no matter where you are on the planet, you have some 2 hour window of time where you can attend. So, but anyway, keep up to date with the Twitter account. That's where we're going to be posting that information. So anyway,
cool.
it'll be fun. We're excited.
Okay. Other
Oh,
things.
there's also so Reimagine. You guys, we had Nick. You were live at Reimagine yesterday. It was pre-recorded, but great job on that, Nick. I think a few people did see it live, but for those of you guys who missed it, we were going to be getting the video directly from them at some point soon, and we'll be able to post it on our own for those that missed it. And so there's going to be also there's more scheduled. When is that? There's another Reimagine thing scheduled, isn't there?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm
Always.
working on one. So anyway, I'll update you guys when that information comes down the pike. I think that's it.
Cool. Yeah, no, they were fun interviews. But yeah, we should have a lot more interviews coming out. So yeah, I think that's about it as far as the announcements go. I think this should be a really short call because Mike, do we have any questions or anything
We have one. Although it says 2 responses, I'm only seeing one, so that's weird. This one is this is a good question. We haven't gotten this one in a while. It says, I appreciate you won't be able to provide too much detail, but are you able to share the high-level treasury management strategy for the Tellor core team? Do you convert any of the dev share into ETH or BTC or stablecoins? Presumably, you have to cash out some element to cover your running costs. Indeed, we do have a bit of a strategy with that, and we do use the dev share to pay our overhead, salaries and expenses, and just running our running costs, as you say. You know, it's the dev shares run out of a multi-sig, and so it's as public as it can get on blockchain. You guys can monitor that all you want and see exactly what we do. But we don't do anything too complicated. You know, we have some ETH. We don't have any BTC. We have some stable coins.
Yeah, so we're not hedge fund managers, and we don't want to be hedge fund managers with our, a lot of projects get in big trouble with this. A lot of projects do really well, but a lot of projects also get in really big trouble with it. We want the first thing, so we have a lot of TRB, but that's voting power. We want to keep we could sell it off for ETH, but you're just handing away the voting power in the system. We like having as much as possible. We sell off a little bit every month just for kind of expenses, and we've built up. We have a little bit of an ETH treasury, almost just because ETH has 10x in the past year, more so than anything. And then, but we also have quite a you know, we have a lot of ETH expenses as well. But yeah, I mean, as far as selling TRV goes too, you know, we usually just do, like in the past, we were selling on IDEX or and then on DEX Blue, and then, you know, now we'll do OTC deals with people, you know, so if you want to reach out and do an OTC deal for the month, so we have to sell off like a certain amount every month, and usually people reach out, we just sell it at market price, no discounts, no nothing, super transparent, and then we'll sell it at market price. And if we don't have any buyers ready, it's not like we seek out buyers, we'll just go sell some on Uniswap or something. Yeah, you know, we're not trying to be traders. You can get in a lot of trouble with it, and it's something that we don't want to necessarily waste our time doing. We'd rather focus on our core mission. But
Well, and it would be a distraction. I mean, imagine if we did really well with it, you know, we would be seduced into spending way more time managing those funds than development. So it's almost like we don't even want to go down that road.
yeah, well, I mean, that's like most projects, or a lot of projects fell into that in 2017. They'd sell a lot of their tokens, and their tokens would tank in value, and then they would still be holding a lot of money. And there were quite a lot of projects that had almost like higher holdings than their token was worth. So they would be sitting on, you know, ETH holdings of $5 million, and their market cap of their token was 1. And, you know, people would always question, like, well, can the token holders just cash out? Like, can we just split up the treasury? And, you know, the answer is always no. You have 0 legal rights to any of this stuff. So, you know, people got burned, and the project would just, you know, pay salaries, really high amounts, things like that. And then there was also no incentive for the people to do good. So what, you can work really hard on your project and 2x your token price, and it doesn't matter. Like, you're holding $5 million worth of ETH. Like, go away. Like, never gonna make this much money. So anyway, that's our treasury strategy. So eventually it's just GameStop stock. Trying to figure out a way to do that, and then we'll all just buy some GameStop and all day. Anyway, but I think that's it for the call. This was super short. This was good. Next week it will be the throes of ETHDenver. Hopefully everybody can make it. Everybody can do a hack. I'm a judge, so I'm not allowed to hack per se. But I want to do a hack. I think maybe I'm gonna try and knock out a hack over the weekend.
That's also, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's very cool. We shouldn't just skip over that fact. Like, Nick, you're a judge at ETHDenver. Like, I know that's a big feather in your cap. This is the first event you've ever been to back in, what was that, 2017 ETHDenver?
Yeah, and my wallet's public, so if you guys want to bribe the judge, shockingly cheap.
Just tip the judge.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and you're also going to be a mentor, helping hackers out, which is going to be cool. So,
I mean, you guys, whoever's watching these community calls, you should all know, like, you guys can reach out to me anytime, and we'll help you with projects. And Zelantis, you're joining right as we're leaving. So, anything else before we go? Yeah. Any last questions, Zelantis? I know he's going to ask. He was probably the guy, but thanks everyone for joining. We'll obviously have another great week. So talk to you guys all next week.
see ya.